Okay, so a few years ago, I stood on stage holding an award that I'd spent my entire career chasing, going after. I hit a huge milestone, and the auditorium was packed. There was over 3,000 people. I was able to get on stage with the president of our company. People were clapping, and my name had been announced as one of the top growers in the company. And by every definition, I'd won. But standing there looking out at the crowd, I began to feel something that I wasn't expecting. In that crowd, I felt completely alone. And what scared me wasn't that I wasn't happy enough. What scared me was realizing how much I'd sacrificed to get there. Because in that moment, there was almost nobody left to celebrate with. The applause lasted maybe 20 seconds. The pictures took maybe 5 seconds. However, then it was just over. The adrenaline faded, the excitement faded, and what was left was a question I couldn't shake. Why did the moment I dreamed about for years feel so empty? You know, the truth is that award didn't cost me one big sacrifice. It cost me thousands of small ones. Early mornings, late nights, missed dinners, missed conversations, moments where, I was physically present, but mentally I was somewhere else. See, the dangerous thing about ambition is that it often disguises itself as responsibility. We tell ourselves we're doing it for our family. We're building something bigger. We're creating a better future. And look, maybe that's true, but sometimes like just this season turns into years. Somewhere between the first goal and the award ceremony, there were missed calls. There were unread messages. There were date nights postponed. There were conversations delayed until later. And the trophy that represented everything I achieved, but it also represented everything that it cost. The hardest part, most people never calculate that second number. Most of us, we have a finish line in our heads, right? Like we think like when I make six figures, then I'll be happy. Things will be settled. When I finally build the company or get the team going, then I'll feel successful. When I lose the weight, then I'll feel more confident. When I win the award, then everything will finally click. Then I'll be valid. But it doesn't work that way because see, the finish line keeps moving. The thing that we thought would fulfill us, it becomes normal. And then we start chasing the next thing. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. I call it achievement addiction. Because high performers, we often confuse accomplishment with fulfillment. Accomplishment, it solves business problems, and accomplishment can solve financial problems, but it can't solve connection problems. And loneliness, interestingly enough, isn't cured by applause. Nobody talks about the day after. Everybody talks about the climb. Everyone talks about the win. Nobody talks about what happens when it's over. I remember waking up that next morning. The award was there, but the feeling wasn't. Life kept moving. The inbox still needed attention. The phone still rang. And then I started again another year over at zero. The next goal was already waiting. And that's then when I realized something. The award wasn't the end of the journey. It was the beginning of a bigger question. And that question was, is this actually worth it? Because if your entire identity is built around climbing mountains, what happens when you finally get to the top? And if the top doesn't make you feel complete, what then? That experience forced me to rethink success. Not success as the world defines it. Success as I define it. Success as you define it. So I started reaching out to people I'd neglected, not because I needed something, but because I missed them. I became more intentional. I had to become way more present, more available. And I started noticing something. There are really two scoreboards in life. There's the public scoreboard, and then there's the private scoreboard. See, the public scoreboard, it tracks achievements, it tracks titles, it tracks awards, it tracks income, it tracks recognition. The private scoreboard tracks something entirely different. It tracks trust. It tracks connection. It tracks presence. It tracks love. One builds your resume. The other helps you build your legacy. And when your life is over, only one of those scoreboards really matters. Look, today, I still believe in ambition. I still believe in huge goals. I still believe in becoming the best version of yourself. But I no longer believe success should require sacrificing everything that matters. Look, in the No Regrets Blueprint, we talk about three pillars. We talk about leadership. We talk about love. And we talk about life. Now, leadership asks, who are you becoming? Love asks, who are you neglecting while becoming that person? And life asks, what moments are you missing while you're busy chasing that next milestone? Because the goal isn't less ambition. The goal is healthier ambition, ambition that builds your life instead of consuming it. Look, I still have that award. I still earn that award. It actually sits on a shelf in an office that I no longer go to. And every time I think about that award, I don't think about winning. I think about the lessons. I think about what it taught me because the truth is the view from the top isn't what makes life meaningful. The people standing beside you do. So before you chase that next promotion, the next deal, the next trophy, that next milestone, you have to ask yourself one important question. When the applause stops, who's still going to be there? Because the view from the top is only beautiful when it's shared with people who knew you at the bottom.